He's the leader of the bunch, you know him well. He's finally back to save a purple rock from some other primates. Donkey Kong Bananza may have stolen the whole show, but with the release 6 weeks after the launch of the Switch 2, I think Nintendo have been very selective about what they have shown. So I've combed through the footage like an ape grooming another ape. Gross. And I have 5 deliciously banana-y predictions to share with you. Firstly, and this is an easy one, this time around, Donkey Kong will be every bit the fashionista that Mario was in Odyssey. Whilst we weren't shown much in this regard, the Treehouse gameplay was much more revealing. So not a groundbreaking prediction. Do you get it? Groundbreaking. Because DK breaks ground in this game. Yeah? Yeah? Anyway, whilst he's breaking that ground, he may stumble across fossils, and a quick UI pop-up tells us that these fossils can be traded in at the style shop. Interesting use of the word style, not outfit, clothes, or costumes, but styles. And we also get a quick glimpse of DK with much more orangey fur, channeling his inner Lanky Kong. These styles could include clothes, fur colour, and even fur styles. Is that a thing? Fur styles? Second, Diddy Kong will appear in the game. Maybe. It has long been disputed who actually owns the Kong family of characters. Of course, Nintendo owns the main ape himself, but what about Diddy, or Dixie, or even Funky? And how about Cranky Kong? Well, he certainly makes an appearance, but he's not the only member of the Rareware era Donkey Kong Country games that makes an appearance. Now, whilst Espresso himself doesn't show up, very familiar looking ostrich characters do make an appearance and seem to be key characters of at least a singular level. But maybe a more direct reference to the old Donkey Kong Country games is the appearance of Naughty the Beaver. I'm sure there's no double entendre meant there at all. Okay, so he doesn't appear like actually in the game physically, but he is on this collectible token. Or collectible biscuit. It's hard to tell what that is. And that even looks like it's just an image from the old promo material, just to really press down hard on that nostalgia center of the brain. But it's also really hard to ignore the resemblance of the miner and scavenger monkeys to Diddy Kong. It feels like a ripe setup for Diddy being one of these, but with a more standout-ish design that's similar but unique enough to separate him from the rest of the group. There is also the small issue of real-world news stories involving the name Diddy. That could potentially affect any appearance of this particular Kong. Third up, Kremlings are in the game, and we've already seen them. With a lot of the Kong showing up in the 2 modern Donkey Kong Country games and numerous Mario sports titles, it would appear that Nintendo have a decent grip on these characters and their usage. However, both of the modern Donkey Kong Country games completely skipped King K. Rool and his crew of Kremlings, and maybe this is where those rights issues come in. But I think that may be a thing of the past. Even though we have a crew of mean monkeys that take the villainous spotlight, this game isn't absent of nods towards the Kremlings. The Treehouse gameplay didn't show much outside of what the trailer did. They were very careful not to go too far into the game. But something the trailer and gameplay did show is these large rock enemies. But what's harder to see is that when you smash them, those big ape arms, they leave behind a golden skeleton, one that has a striking resemblance to a Kremling skeleton. I mean, look at the comparison. Apart from the gold and the much more up-to-date graphics, they're the same thing. Kremlings and King K. Rool are essentially a large pirate crew, and there's a brief reference to pirate themes during the Treehouse gameplay. Bear with me. Sure, it's just a treasure map that unlocks secrets on the main map. The main map, by the way, shows all the damage you've done to that level. And I like that. I like that a lot. But the treasure map is a connection to a pirate theme. King K. Rool is a pirate. The Kremlings are a pirate crew. Coincidence? I think not. Fourth, music will play a crucial role in this game. Why do I think this? Well, all of the evidence, like there's a lot of it. Look, there's some there, there's some over here, here's some more. It's everywhere. But to be more specific, not only is the checkpoint for this game a tuning fork, used to, well, tune instruments, but part of Ingot's Isle is called Baboon Town. Whilst a play on baboon, it also feels a little musical to me, boomboxy. And besides, DK's hand slap move just has a musical vibe to the pulse effect it releases. It just seems like a guitar riff in visual form. And music has been a big part of DK in the past. No, not that. Not this time. We've done that. We've done it too many times. Past Donkey Kong games have had music featured at the forefront of the games, from Donkey Kong 64's unique instruments for each Kong, and the whole GameCube era of 5 games that utilised a unique bongo-based controller. It isn't difficult to imagine that Nintendo would once again place music at the core of a Donkey Kong game. And these points all make sense and they start to form a pattern. But then the Treehouse gameplay just showed making music as an actual thing you can do with a button press, so yeah, there's that. And this making music can show a path for DK to follow to get you out of whatever hole you've dug yourself into. No, literally get you out of a hole. I mean, you can just dig into the level anywhere. And get you back on track to the main goal. And it can also destroy this new void substance that seems to be getting everywhere. Now, my final prediction is a potential spoiler, so if you don't want to see, then please subscribe and like before you leave. And if you do want to see, then consider subscribing anyway, and I'll just take it as a pat on the back that I've longed for my entire life. Final spoiler warning. The Odd Rock is actually young Pauline. Now, I could explain how, because of the music and singing in the game links to Pauline, one of the only singers in all of the Mario series, or how the only voice acting we've seen has come from this odd purple rock who sounds like a distorted little girl, or how Pauline has been linked to DK since the beginning, and even in Mario Odyssey, New Donk City has Donkey Kong references, because Pauline is the mayor of that city. But honestly, in reality, it was because Nintendo themselves leaked this image. Yep, and that appears to be a young Pauline. So that seems pretty straightforward. But the connection to this young Pauline and Odd Rock is that Odd Rock can destroy this void substance with its singing. And if we look closely, we can actually see Odd Rock is made of this void substance. The implication being that something is inside Odd Rock waiting to be revealed. And if the villains are spreading this void and young Pauline can destroy it, it makes sense they try to stop that by imprisoning her. Now, why exactly her voice doesn't destroy the void substance she's potentially contained in, well, I don't know, I've run out of predictions, but the Odd Rock is able to move and talk, which is at odds with anything else contained within the void substance. So maybe she just needs help from someone else to set her free. Maybe a certain big armed ape. I'm sure we'll find out much more in a Summer Direct in June before Donkey Kong Bananza launches on July 17th. Until then, please subscribe, like, and comment to keep it here for all your Switch 2 news. See you in the next one. Bye.